Let's fast forward to December 31st, 2025. What are you celebrating? What are you smiling from ear to ear about? What are you sitting back, having maybe a little glass of champagne or little bubbles of some sort, or maybe you're just having a lovely cup of tea and you're just quietly thinking about, look what I did. Look what I did in 2025. Look at my business. Look how much better my business is now than it was last year. You are the guy who decides where to go. That's what Dr. Seuss says, or the girl, or the gal. I think that it's really, really important. And I see this, and I've been seeing it over the last 6 years of doing this coaching business that I do. I see retailers who put a plan in place, design what they want, get clear on how they want their business to be better. And better can be anything for you, maybe more time, more energy, more money, more freedom, whatever that is for you. But I love seeing retailers that put goals and plans in place and design, and they aim for it and they succeed. This is what I am here for. This is my joy. My joy is seeing that happen every year. And every year, without fail, in November and December, because it starts in November, most of the time I get comments, emails, conversations, coaching clients. We have conversations about, hey, I already met those goals. I'm like way past that, what I consider to be better goal that I set last year. So, welcome to the Creative Shop Talk podcast. Today we are going to be talking about designing your best ever retail year for 2025. What does that look like for you? What could that be for you? Think about your big dream and vision of what you want your business to be. What do you want to do? What do you want to have? I always say joy, freedom, and profitability, but maybe there's different things for you. What do you want from your business? Let's get into it. I'm going to share some tips today. Running a retail business doesn't have to be so hard. Welcome to the Creative Shop Talk podcast, the go-to podcast for creative shop owners, studio owners, and independent retailers. I'm your host, Wendy Batten, retail business coach and mentor. Each week, I'll share simple, proven business strategies, inspiring stories from fellow retailers, and advice from industry experts. Together, we're going to work to find the success you want from your retail business with more profits in your till and a little more joy in your life. Okay, my friends, so I have a workshop available for you. It's called Design Your Best Retail Year Ever. It is available inside, it's free if you're a member of my membership called Retailer's Inner Circle. What is my membership called? The Retailer's Inner Circle program, which is my private group coaching program that this workshop is available, but it's also available as a standalone because I am committed to making sure it gets in as many hands as possible. So that workshop has a few videos and step-by-step workbook, walks you all the way through all of the steps that you need to take and asks the questions. To be honest, it'll be asking you a lot of questions that you have to think about. And we also walk through how to plan probable revenue goals and why they matter and how they matter and all of the things. And I'm going to share some of the tips today, but the full workshop is available on demand for you on my website at wendybatten.com, or if you're a member of the Retailer's Inner Circle program, you can get it. It's in the Masterclass Workshops section in the headquarters, so you can go grab that there. It's easy. It's worth taking time. Now is the time to plan a better year. It starts now. Start thinking about what that could look like for you. So I'm going to give you a few tips today and walk you through what we do inside that workshop so you can start, or if the workshop's not right for you or you're not in a place to invest, it's a very small investment, by the way. You will get your money back the first time you do your first goal or the first part of the session of the workshop. You will find extremely valuable. I will also say, when I recently asked our members inside our Retailer's Inner Circle, what is one of your favorite or most impactful workshops? This workshop is the one that comes up every time. There was probably, I think it was 75% of the members said the Design Your Best Year workshop, like hands down, is the most impactful in making a change in their business. So this is a workshop. Then what happens is you look at this workshop, you do this workshop, you figure out what skills or what you need or what dominoes you want to move. And then I always joke and say, you just go into the pantry of the resources and grab those resources that you need, or ask the community, or, grow your skills in a different way. So on that note, I just wanted to share with you sort of the steps that we work through when it comes down to designing your best year. What does that look like? What could it be? What are the steps? It sounds so big, right? Planning. Ugh. I have a lot of retailers that say I'm not a planner. We have to be a planner. If you're a business owner, you have to be a planner. You can't just no one else is telling you what to do. You've got to figure out what to do so you know where to go and then what steps to take. I often quote this Napoleon Hill quote. It's, "Do not wait. The time will never be just right. Start where you stand. Work with whatever tools at your command, and the better tools will be found as you go." And I want to encourage you to start right now. Start with the planning that I'm going to give you today on the podcast, and then go dig deeper. Join us inside the Retailers Inner Circle. Go purchase the standalone session. Hire a coach. Hint, I am a coach. But you can also go talk to other business peers. Just start. A better year starts now. And if you want to go from good to great, or fine to better, and you just want to better parts of your business, this is how we do it. So how do we plan a year? So I'm going to walk through some simple steps for you that you can do today on your own without the workshops. So the first part is always looking back. I know that sounds kind of wasteful of time. If we're too busy, we can't do that. I don't have time to do that, Wendy, but this is where things start. This is where we find out what's already happened. We take a snapshot of where we are. So we start by looking back, and we get really clear on the last 12 months. We know exactly how much money we've made. Where did our money go? What was the revenue? What were our profits? What was our personal pay? What's working? What's not working? We encourage you to look back to review highlights and challenges and staff and all of those different areas. Think about what's working in your business, what's not working in your business, month by month. We actually go month by month. I look at my camera and my calendar, and my camera because that's where photos are. So we can remember what events we did. If you're a member of the Retailers Inner Circle, I would recommend you go back and look through our playbooks that we have. If you filled out the playbooks, because we have data and stats in there. Also, we have lots of notes and operations. And again, what drove sales in April last year? I don't know. So this is what we try to keep track of in our monthly playbook that's inside the Retailers Inner Circle as well. So that's the first step, looking back, seeing what actually happened, because we're also prone to just moving forward, to just keep moving forward. And what happens is if we're doing the same thing, we get the same results, right? We're just doing same, we're going to get same. So stop what we're doing and look back. This whole planning session can be broken up in chunks. Maybe you do that first, and then you have some conversations, and you go do some digging, and all of that is important to do. Some people go away for an entire weekend and take a break. I have clients, and don't roll your eyes and think you can't do that in November or December. I have lots of clients that take 2 and 3 day getaways. They call them planning getaways, and do this type of work before we jump into the new year, so that they're ready and that they're starting with momentum. It's not an impossible task when you have your business set up so that there's other people helping you, which is always the ideal way. If you have things set up with processes and systems, and you know what's happening, you've got your promotions done, your events, things are flowing, you can step away. Just my 2 cents in there for you. Okay, so we start with looking back. And again, this is a wonderful thing to do if you have partners, or if your partner is, if you're married to your partner, or, you have other people that are helping you with your business. This is a great time to do that. If you have a key employee or a lead that you want to involve with this practice and this part of your business, this is a great time to do it. This is a great time to do it, but you usually have to step away from the everyday, even if it means a coffee shop or a getaway. Or, and shout out to, some of my clients who, rent Airbnbs and they go away and do it. I just love that. So, and if that's you and you do that, tag me in it, because I want to see it. I want to know when you're doing it. I get really excited when I see people doing this. So even if you're not a planner, you have to be a planner. So don't tell yourself a planner. That's just a mindset that you're telling yourself. If you're running a business, you're a planner. You have to do this work. So the second part is really vision storming. And I say vision storming, that's my wording, but because I hate like planning out strategically, but that is what we're doing. But really vision storming and asking yourself, what do I want? Like, what do I want the business to look like? What do we want to do? We want to look beyond the day-to-day operations. We want to create a big picture vision. What are we celebrating next year? What are we telling Wendy on December 31st of 2025? Like, what text are you going to send me? And what when you're sipping that cup of tea or that bubbles of whatever, what are you celebrating? What is your dream for your business? What is it that you want from your business? One of the things is making sure that we have a really clear vision of what we want, and a vision is really like what's pulling us. There's a famous Steve Jobs quote. Is that his name? Yeah, Steve Jobs. I know, I should know that, right? If you're working on something you care about, you don't have to be pushed. Your vision pulls you. I'm not sure if that's the exact quote, but it's something along that line. So if you're really excited and passionate about what you're working on, you don't have to be pushed. Your vision pulls you. And I love that quote, and I've thought about it a lot because that's so true, right? I mean, to get up every day and do what we do, or you do what you do in your retail stores, it's really, it's a lot. You have to love what you're doing. You have to have a vision and a goal and a plan and a dream and know where you're headed. If not, you're just spinning, right? We're just spinning. So part of this vision storming is understanding what your vision is for your business, not just the brand, but your business. Like what do we want to happen? It's a great time to reflect on products and services and branding. And it's a great time to work through all that. And all of those questions are asked in the full workshop. If you take it, thinking bigger is what I love to say here. Thinking bigger and thinking what's possible for you. And when we declare it, I always say, like, when we put a line in the sand and we say, this is what I want, this is my vision, maybe it's financial freedom. Maybe it's time freedom for you. Maybe it is, a big new building, or what is your vision? Like, what is the lifestyle you want to go with that? I mean, that's what we have to look at. What is the reason that you're doing all this? Why are you doing all this? Maybe you're just, whatever the vision is for your year, we have to think about what that is. And the next sort of thing I always say when we're talking about our vision is, who do we need to be this year to create that vision, to make that vision come true? Like, what do we need to do? How do we need to think? Who do we need to hire? Where can we get our support? What are the things that have to happen? How do we have to show up? Do we have to change? Like, there's going to be changes in order to get new results. You're going to have to do new things. So what is it? Like, what do we need to do? And it can get you fired up when you think about it. When you really get excited, I'm excited now. I'm thinking about, I just did a coaching call with a client like an hour ago, and she's like fired up about all her new vision for her brand. Not a new brand, but like what she wants from her brand and the direction we're going to take it. And we're so excited. We're working together on it. And she was so fired up. Now I'm fired up, as you can see. What is it you need to do? But how do you have to show up? And if you have that fire in your belly, like you did maybe when you opened your shop originally, you had a big fire in your belly, right? It was exciting. And every day you're going in and you're planning out your shop and you're, what products you're going to bring in and who's going to shop here and all that stuff. And sometimes we get into a rut or a routine, or I don't know what. Maybe you lost the fire, or maybe you don't have that big vision, or maybe you do have that big vision and you need it ignited again. You need it sparked up again. So what do you need to do, and who do you need to be? I'm always asking myself, who do I need to be to show up, however way, that my clients need me to show up? What do I need to do? What do you need to do? That's just a few questions that we kind of go through. So when we're vision storming, we're really creating that mission, vision, what is it we want? What do you want? What do you want anyway? What do you want it to look like? Because again, we get in this routine of just same, same, same. We don't want that to be you. And of course, in the full workshop, I teach you how to break down, once we have that vision, like what does that look like? What does our revenue need to be? Not just beating last year's numbers. If you've listened to my podcast on a regular basis, that's not how we figure out how we get to where we want to go. We have to have real revenue numbers. How does our vision and our mission align with our revenue goals? Like what does that look like? What are we going to sell? What is our, what profit, what categories, what do we need to get rid of? What do we need to pick up? Like, what do we need to do? Can we add additional revenue streams? What personal development, what skills do we need to add? All the things. We're going to do all the things. We break it all down for you. And that's exciting that's when I get people telling me, thank you for helping me figure out what to do. Some people will say, thank you for telling me what to do, but you'll figure that out. You'll have that step, that map, that roadmap that we need. And it's like, okay, now we just got to do it, right? So sometimes just figuring out what to do, like what we want and how to do it, is really a big part of setting our yearly goals and getting our goals in place. What we also will do, and what the next step for that is, a marketing plan. So in our Design Your Best Retail Year Ever workshop, again, mouthful, but in that workshop, we're going to break down how to set your marketing goals, because how are we going to get there? Marketing is such a key, right? It's the fuel. It's what keeps customers coming in. So we're going to put marketing goals in place that align and match to your revenue goals. And your revenue goals are going to attach to your vision goals, right? So that all aligns perfectly. So it works really well for everybody. So that is mapping out your marketing. And then, so thinking about how are you going to get where you want to go? So again, once if you take the workshop, we'll break it all down for you. If you don't take the workshop, you can still do this. This is all you have to do, is figure out, where you want to go. And then we figure out financially what we need to get there. And then I want you to think about, okay, how are we going to get more visibility in our business? How are we going to, and how much visibility? What's our strategy around getting new eyeballs on our business? How are we going to nurture our clients? How are we going to serve and sell? Like, what are we going to sell them? And what is our process? What is our profit centers or categories that we're going to be selling? And how are we going to wow and delight? That's part of our entire retail funnel. We go through all of that when we're planning. And we're not figuring out social media tools, That's not what I mean. This is the strategy around that. And you can put this strategy in place for the entire year once you know what you need to do, right? We really need to become a destination in order to meet these goals that we have, these bigger, better vision goals that we have. So we need to get people driving, 2 hours from the town down the road to come in. How are we going to do that? That's strategy. That's thinking broadly. That's not thinking same, right? That's starting to think specifically and strategically in order to reach that vision goal. Maybe that's not part of, maybe that's not what you need. You're going to do something else. We need to figure out how to move more products were, in the store. We need to increase our conversion rate, or we need to increase our average order. And that's going to get us to that vision goal that we want. Marketing is a big part of it. So marketing is part of our yearly big picture planning. And then, of course, we always want to make sure that we are prioritizing our team, our staff, the people around us, the support we need. There's all, that is all part of our yearly plan. Like, who do we need to support? What does that look like? How are we putting systems in place, or what systems are we putting in place this year? What processes do we need to put in place this year that will help us and reach these goals or skills? So I want to encourage you. I know this seems like a lot, but it's not really. I just wanted to remind you that you can design your best retail year ever. So you can sit down, take some time, think about, block it in your calendar. That's what we call a big rock. It's a big, important thing. It's part of your CEO role. Think of when you can do this, whether it's a couple of days or even an overnight. I've personally done this and left, one day, done an overnight and come back the next. And you can get a lot done when you're super focused on this is all we're doing. I have one client who rents a beautiful hotel room. She goes by herself. She has big stickies on the wall. She's my kind of girl. I'm a sticky on the wall kind of girl. Whiteboards, and she goes by herself. She orders room service or Uber Eats or whatever into the hotel, and she just gets it done. And I will say that particular client just sent me a note. Speaking of November notes, I'm actually recording this at the end of October. And on the 20th of October, she had more than exceeded all of her goals. So she, we were meeting together and she showed me all these, all her numbers. And she's like, I did it. I've met all these goals. And she's like, well, what can I do the rest of the year? So we want to think bigger. We want to think better. We want to think of what's possible for you. And I will say last year, she didn't think it was possible. She didn't think it was possible. The number, the revenue number and the profit number, and also the lifestyle number. No, it's not a lifestyle number, but the lifestyle result, I guess, the result that has happened because she's put these things in place and she took that time. She dumped it all on a piece of paper and did the work. So you can do this yourself. Again, you want to go back, look over the last year, take a snapshot month by month. We want to look at, several aspects. We want to look at what's working, what didn't, events. We want to look at revenue. We want to make sure that we are looking at it all, pulling it all apart, inventory, all of your numbers, bring your laptop, bring your spreadsheets. The next part of it is vision storming, what you want looking forward. Then we're going to map out our marketing to match it, thinking about our marketing and really focusing on the success points. I would say success points, but what is it? And then we want to narrow those down into maybe 3 to 5, I say goals, but maybe they're just 3 to 5 targets. Target's a great word. So maybe we're going to nail those down. Are our 3 to 5 targets. We want to make those SMART goals, SMART targets. SMART meaning, specific, measurable. What are all the SMART words? Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. That's what SMART goals are. And we want to put those in place, and we want to make sure, and we actually love in our workshop, we have everything combined so that there's a one sheet. We call it a one sheet goal design your best year one sheet, and it's all on one sheet, so you can keep that close, keep it on your desk, keep it, with your actual numbers. Like I want to increase my visibility, tenfold or whatever the number is. And if you keep that in front of you and you review, and you can stay aligned with your goals and your targets, I guess. So I hope this has been helpful for you. Again, I want to remind you that we have a complete workshop, standalone, do on your own. You just go to my website, wendybatten.com. You can go in there, you can grab the workshop. I think it's 2 videos and a workbook. Maybe 3 videos, but they're all short videos walking through these steps. It will tell you how to do the steps. There's a workbook with lots of prompts in there. The workbook's actually kind of famous. I'm going to say it's famous because that is the one thing everybody, they just love the workbook. So grab the workbook. You can work through the workbook and walk through with whoever you're with and work on the workbook together. That session is there for you. If you are a member of the Retailer's Inner Circle program or my mastermind program, you already have that in the library for you. It's under the Masterclass Workshops, which is in your headquarters. So 2 ways to get it, 2 ways to get that entire program, either standalone, you can grab that by itself, available on my website, or you can join the Retailer's Inner Circle program and you can have it there. And I would do that personally because you'll get that. Plus you'll get all of the other workshops and programs and master classes that we have. And you can join me live in our monthly coaching calls and our monthly roundtables, which are super fun and helpful and impactful, if I may say so. All right, my friend, thank you for being here today. I hope that I hear from you on December 31st, 2025, and you say, I did it. I have a better year. I designed a better year for myself and it worked and we actioned it. And again, listening to these podcasts and taking courses and buying things and all of that is great, but they're not helpful without action. So I want to encourage you to make time. If the one action that you do today is you look at your calendar and you say, this is when I'm going to do the thing. This is when I'm going to go grab Wendy's workshop, sit down and do it. So I hope that inspires you to take action and to have and design your best 2025. So thanks for listening, my friend. We will see you same time, same place. If you found this podcast helpful, it would do me a great honor if you would share this with a fellow retailer, share it on your Instagram, tag me if you can, or just send it to one friend, one retail buddy. They may find it helpful as well too. It's how we spread the word. It helps the algorithms. If you haven't left subscribe, or if you haven't left a review, that's the word, the review, that's super helpful to us as well too. The podcast is growing thanks to you doing these things, and it makes me happy. It makes me happy when I see people sharing, when they comment, when people tell me that they received the podcast information from a retail buddy. I can't tell you how much that lights me up. So if you found this helpful, maybe one of your buddies will too, and it would do me a great honor as well too. Thanks, my friend. We'll see you next week. Well, that's it for this week's episode of the Creative Shop Talk podcast. I'm so glad that you're here to join us this week, and I hope you found value in what we're sharing here. I want to remind you that our website has all of the show notes. You can find it at wendybatten.com/podcast. Everything that you need to hear about today's podcast is there. Also an opportunity if you need to reach out to me. If I can support you in any way whatsoever, please feel free to reach out. So thanks for joining us. Please leave a review, subscribe if you can, and never miss an episode. We hope to see you back here again next week. Thanks, my friend. Have a great week.